Ahora aquí estoy con Sarah Morgan esperando a ver qué pasa. Así vamos a seguir a nuestros compadres.
Might be time I start working on some projects.
A ver qué chucha vamos a hacer con el tema de los horromorfos. Oye, hay mucho weón acá. Weón.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I am super nervous.
Bueno, empezamos con el peloteo de un lugar para otro, así que vamos a ir a Nueva Atlantis a hablar con... Y la wea.
So, are you eating at the Sage Brook? Or is it just a quick snap from a Terra brew?
Freestar Collective and UC both. It's why they gave them a white birth. Ask me, those murdering assholes should have blasted my space dust.
Bueno, este bug está bueno.
Been up there, huh? Space? Must be cool. I never get to go to space.
Pero qué wea. Ya, bueno, que uno trabaja como está más cómodo nomás, con viva... Viva la diversidad, weón. Bueno, vine por error acá y me encontré con este chiste. Bueno, oh, la wea, tío. Ya, sigamos. Aquí sí, pues guacho.
Captain, over here. The workup's in the cabinet's hands. They said they'll call for us once they've gotten to properly review it. But listen, I know I should have been more forthcoming about who I was earlier. So, in the interest of full disclosure, there's one more thing you ought to know before we head up there. My relationship with the UC. It's more complicated than it might seem at first glance. The UC's actually the only reason I'm here in the first place. I am a clone of a man named Francois
Me
Solar,
está bien.
one-time fleet admiral of the UC during the Colony War, former head of the UC Navy. They called him Ve Victus, woe to the defeated, in Old Earth Latin, a title he earned. The program I was a part of, it was the UC's attempt to create a new generation of military minds from one of their most respected tacticians. Secure the leadership of the UC military for generations to come. I'm getting there. The man I was cloned from, my father, was executed for acts he committed during the war. The man caused a lot of death.
Ya, pero el que provocó las muertes fue él.
Freestar Collective and UC. Military and civilians. And the things he did, well, they're a part of the reason the UC and Freestar Collective aren't really on great terms to this day. So my involvement, it could be another obstacle they throw at us up there. I just wanted you to be forewarned.
¿Viste?
I really appreciate you saying that. I just thought you deserved to know, considering how much you've done already. You know, while we've got a second, was there anything else we needed to discuss? I know you got dropped into the middle of this pretty fast. Or if you've got any last-minute business to attend to, now might be a good time. No telling how long the cabinet's gonna keep
No,
us waiting
démosle,
on you.
weón, al tiro.
Then I guess it's just a matter of...
The cabinet meeting is about to begin. All parties, please proceed to the cabinet chambers.
Sounds like our cue.
El
Here we go.
Chamber of Secrets, como en Harry Potter. Ya empezó el huevo, ya me están hablando. Y creo, puedo hablar por WhatsApp y jugar al mismo tiempo.
Private sector. Now that's where
Ah, Captain. Congratulations on joining the ranks of the Vanguard.
Sale la meculo de mierda. Esta weá es como la ONU, weón. ¿Serán iguales o no? Como el planeta neutral de Futurama, weón. Son buenos para cagarlas, pero son neutrales.
Yes?
Howdy.
Bueno, Alberto Mayor culiao, te contrataron en la ONU del espacio, po. Claro, pues gente. Y se tiñó el pelo como el Pancho Malo, weón. Sale, culiao, indecente, mierda. Hay que ser chileno y saber de política para cachar esto, weón. Está bonito, ¿no? Hola. Hola, mi pantalla, weón. Oye, ya, pues van a seguir hablando, ¿no? Ya, voy a matar gente por mientras si no me hablan. El loco de allá se está rascando el hoyo y ahora se está oliendo los dedos, weón. Buena, Sara Morgan, te perdiste lo que hizo el negro, weón. Oye, ya, pues. Chao.
Ah, and that must make you the Captain Hadrian mentioned in her report. You have our thanks for bringing us this information. You can imagine my surprise when I was informed you were also the agent involved in the debacle between SysDef and the Crimson Fleet.
Sí, fue divertido.
Still quite a mystery how that all went so wrong. In fact, some of Commander Ikande's few remaining compatriots even went so far as to suggest we were making a mistake granting you an audience at all, and that we should instead strap you in irons. Tell me, why would they think something like that?
Ay, las dos respuestas son una mierda, ¿eh? Yeah.
I suppose so. But then that's not really the reason we're here today, is it? We have two petitioners here making a surprising request. Access to the UC Xeno Warfare Team's Terramorph data, currently housed in the Armistice archives. A request which will require not just this body's agreement, but that of all 3 Armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun. Now, Captain, we've all read Hadrian's report on the subject, but we have yet to hear from you. Perhaps you could summarize for the Cabinet what it is you see as the goal of this endeavor.
That's quite the leap, Captain. Madam President, I object to the very premise of this meeting. While no one would argue that what happened on Tau Ceti was anything less than a tragedy, Terramorph attacks are not some sudden new threat on the horizon. They've been happening for generations. To demand we hand over banned archival knowledge and possibly upset the balance of galactic diplomacy because of a single attack seems at best panic. And at worst, a power grab by the daughter of a bloodthirsty warmonger and her associates.
I would remind the chief diplomat who he's speaking to. If it's my father you're looking to address, you're welcome to consult a medium. I would also ask how many deaths the Cabinet requires to act. 50? 50,000? Because if tragedies like Tau Ceti are just prelude to more attacks, I have no doubt you'll get the body count you require.
Let's keep this civil, shall we? And while there should be no doubt the preservation of life stands paramount among this body's duties, Chief Yassine has a point. Will a single attack, however troubling, be sufficient to convince the other factions to grant us access to what they no doubt consider weapon data? I don't think it's enough. Perhaps you can help, Captain. As the one who actually collected the sample in question, did this terramorph seem at all alarming to you?
That is worth considering. This attack took place on an almost completely uninhabited world. The casualties were minimal as a result. But if there's another attack, will we be so lucky?
Y fue uno, pues.
That's a fine point, Admiral. So then, Captain, given the discussion now and the information you've been privy to thus far, if you were in our position, would you grant the request made to open the archives?
I'm uncomfortable opening the archives without gathering more information. However, if that's the path forward you prefer, then so be it.
I'm inclined to agree.
As am I.
I suppose that does get to the heart of the point, doesn't it? Very well. I consent. The galaxy was lucky you were here today, Captain.
You and I are in agreement, Chief Diplomat. So, if there are no other objections, I believe we can agree to give our full backing to make the request to...
Attention. An incident has occurred. Facility lockdown engaged.
Incident? Chief Sarkin, what's happening?
There's been an attack at the spaceport. Terramorphs.
Terramorphs. More attacks. Just as predicted.
Good God.
Damn it. They're here. Now.
There must be another explanation. The creatures evaded our scanner somehow.
There will be plenty of time for conjecture. Chief Sarkin, order the evacuation of the spaceport and have your men contain the things, but do it discreetly. The last thing we need is a citywide panic.
Yes, ma'am.
Admiral Logan, the local barracks can provide support?
I'll make the order myself. Nearest anti-Xeno squad, though, is off-world. It'll take a while to bring them in.
Well, we'll have to make do with the tools we've got. You two, we can't risk those things getting out of the spaceport. I want you both on the next train there. We'll let them know you're coming, and that you've dealt with these things before. Now go show them how it's done.
We're on it, ma'am. Captain, I'm right behind you. Let's get down there.
Pasen, pues guachos, pasen. Curioso que pase justamente ahora. ¿De quién hay que sospechar?
Stop! We're trying to help you!
I can't stop!
That's it. Now hit him with everything you've got.
Me gustan los armas electromagnéticas, por la chucha.
You got nothing.
¿Por qué atacan, weón?
Bad luck for you! Damn it! Totally lost them.
Lights out on them.
Bueno, que tengo más munición que la chucha.
Stop me. Please. God, stop me.
Thank you for what you did. We didn't want to hurt them.
The way those people were acting. I've seen this before. They were under the Terramorph's influence, weren't they?
I don't know. They were down at the port and they just started screaming. We tried to restrain them, get them on the train to get them out of harm's way, but some of the other officers down there, we couldn't restrain them fast enough. They just started firing on us. People we knew. They went berserk.
Pheromonic projection. Some Terramorphs, they can induce this fog. It affects everyone differently, but some people just lose control, turn against everyone around them, even if they don't want to. They're like a puppet. You kill the morph, you break the hold. But this means we're gonna need to be real careful with our fire, and keep that EM weapon at the ready. Let's do it.
That's unlocked. Please, do what you can to help them.
Wait. Did you hear that?
God, no time to waste, Captain. Stash the EM and pull some firepower. Let's move!
An evacuation order has been issued for the spaceport district. All citizens are required to proceed to the nearest shelter.
It's here! It's here! You might back up. Just stand there. Good!
Qué bueno el rugido de estos bichos, ¿eh?
You can't beat it.
No me deja cargar, weón.
They're going to turn on you. Kill them. Kill them first.
Oh, la weá pesada, weón. Ya,
It's one of them! It's like you've tapped into the universe itself.
lo siento, voy a tener que...
Watch out!
Oh God! Here they come!
Oh, God, help me!
You have to help me.
¿Qué te dije, Julio?
Experts. We've got the remaining creatures locked down on the landing pad, but we're barely holding our perimeter. They said you've done this before. Well, one fire team to spare and whatever supplies you need, but I can't risk them taking over any more of my men. Put those things down and do it fast. We'll hold them as best we can.
Heard you might be looking for some backup. You say the word, we're out there on your 6.
You two have any experience with terramorphs before?
Only the brief they just gave on the way here. But we know how to handle pressure.
Surviving a full-on mental assault isn't the same as keeping your cool in a firefight. Might make you more liability than asset.
We're not UC security. You don't need to worry about us. Roger that. We're on you. Anyone nosing around here's gotta have a death wish.
Este es de nivel más.
Bring me anything useful?
Claro que sí, será amor. ¿Qué más tenéis? Tenéis este, Orión. Ah, igual hace harto daño la wea.
Bye.
Ay, se pitieron las naves, pues weón. Insisto, bueno, también para el tema de las voces, que los horromorfos son humanos mal traídos. Aquí tenemos arrojable, gran de fragmentación. Ya. Ya, me gasté todas las balas.
Gonna lost my shoulder.
Queda poco, queda poco.
All wrapped up. We should go tell the sergeant what happened.
Esta weá está como misión final del Mass Effect cuando dejan la zorra en la ciudadela, weón. Tus pollos murieron, guacho.
Thank the heavens you're back in one piece. Well, I guess our people weren't so lucky.
No, fueron carne de cañón nomás.
The few protecting the many.
And it would have been plenty more if it hadn't been for the two of you. The city owes you both a debt after this.
We were just in the right place at the right time. Captain, we should report back to the President. Let her know the terramorphs have been dealt with. Take care of yourself, Sergeant.
Weón, gasté más balas que la chucha, weón.
Attention. The spaceport has been secured. Safety precautions remain in place. Please wait for the all-clear signal before exiting your home.
Let your people all know how much we owe them today.
Yes, ma'am.
Ah, there you are. I believe we have some things we should discuss. Captain, Hadrian, it would appear that the cabinet owes you our thanks for what you did for the city today. As well as an apology. Your concerns about the terramorphs, well, consider them validated.
Thank you, ma'am.
Of course. I only wish we could have acted sooner. Now, today's events have only clarified our path forward in the eyes of the cabinet. You will have our full support in collecting the terramorph data from the archives, as well as a subsequent investigation into the nature of these attacks. But to accomplish those goals, we're going to need the right people in the right places. As such, the cabinet has authorized me to reinstate you, Hadrian, effective immediately, to your former rank of Major. As soon as we've got the data in hand, we want you investigating these attacks and how to stop them. Will you do this?
Yes. Yes, ma'am. I'd be honored.
Excellent. But as you've both made clear, for such an investigation to succeed first, we're going to need someone to convince the Freestar Collective and House Varun to play ball.
Alguien me dice que también los van a atacar a ellos. A no ser que sea uno de ellos los que están atacando. Y sospecho de la casa Varun.
Right now. The cabinet wants you, Captain, to be that representative. We do. In exchange, we're willing to fast-track your citizenship upon collection of the data. So, will you help us? I'm glad to hear it. Now, we, of course, won't be sending you in without the proper support. Deputy McIntyre in the Office of Interstellar Affairs will be your guide on gaining access to the archives. You should be able to find her in her office across the hall. And on behalf of the whole of the United Colonies, you have our thanks. You're dismissed.
What can I help you with?
Damage to the space.
I'm gonna go check in with Chief
Costs of
Engineer
this attack are
Kulkarni.
greater than I
Start
think
getting a
we
plan
realize.
together for that data.
Yes? Goodbye.
By the way, Captain, Sergeant Yumi was looking for you. Sounds like he's got more work.
Okay, hello.
Chief Yassine, these orders. But you know who this is, correct? Yes, sir. I'll make sure they get what they require. That must make you our new envoy. Welcome to Interstellar Affairs. I'm Deputy Chief Diplomat McIntyre, Chief Yassine's second-in-command. And you're someone I've already heard plenty about. One of the few survivors of the SysDef debacle and defender of New Atlantis. Not sure if I should duck for cover around you or shake your hand, but you have my thanks for what you did for the city regardless. I was also informed that you gave quite the presentation to the cabinet. Chief Yassine wants you to know the Interstellar Affairs Office is fully committed to this endeavor, accessing the Terramorph data and beyond. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure you have the tools you need. And that means first getting you into the archives. You do know what the archives are, correct?
Someone paid attention in current events. So, then you also know that it was originally managed by the 3 major galactic players. Access to the archives is only granted in cases of dire emergency, and requires a one-time use code from each of the 3 armistice signatories. UC, Freestar Collective, and House Varun.
Now, the UC is already on board, so that means we'll need to convince 2 people. The ambassadors of the Freestar Collective and House Varun to hand over their codes. Get them both and you'll have your data. But that's a lot easier said than done.
I couldn't agree more. However, both ambassadors have reasons they won't, or can't, work with us. Now, I'll provide guidance on how we believe you can acquire each code, but ultimately, it'll be up to you to get them both to cooperate.
And I do mean cooperate. Threats and violence are off the table here. Though that doesn't mean we can't get creative.
But it does mean we need to get you up to speed on who you're dealing with. Who do you want to start with? Ambassador Radcliffe of Freestar, or Ambassador Balmore of House Varun? The good Ambassador Radcliffe. She's a veteran of the Colony War, and her only goal in life is to make ours miserable.
If Sam is any example of how stubborn the Freestar people can be, then I can imagine how difficult it must be dealing with this ambassador.
Now, officially, our office is suggesting you try and negotiate with her.
Use your experiences as a member of the military and with the threat we're facing to convince her to lend her support.
And who knows? Maybe that'll work. Stranger things have happened. But my suspicion is we're going to have to rely on other tools to get her code.
Certainly. See, good diplomacy is all about the careful application of pressure. We just need to find the squeeze.
UC Intelligence has a recording device planted in the ambassador's living quarters, which we suspect you can use to your advantage.
But getting caught trespassing is a quick way to land yourself in an embassy holding cell.
So, if you are going to try and access the device, You're going to need to find a way in there without being seen.
Lo bueno es que ya tengo el traje para la
Now,
wea.
we recovered some intel we believe should be able to help with that. But there's also a disgruntled staff member you might be able to pump for information. Maybe even convince to work with you.
All right. Here, your diplomatic ID. I'll give them a heads up you're on your way. Not likely to let you through the door otherwise.
And take these. Chief Yassine wanted you to have some options on how to proceed in there.
Ambassador Balmore's a challenge. When the rest of House Varun retreated into seclusion shortly after the signing of the armistice, Balmore stayed here. He's since lent his support to a small number of archival requests, so there's real hope he might again. Though claiming to know how a member of House Varun thinks is a quick way to earn yourself a psych eval. It does, but there's a concern. We're not 100% sure Balmore's actually still alive. His public appearances were always rare, but it's been several years now since he last poked his head out. Scans of the facility show life signs, but not the kind we were expecting.
Your task is to find him and kindly but firmly remind him of his duties under the armistice. I have no doubt. Now, the embassy front door isn't an option, but our spies have stated there's a side entrance that should allow you access. Here, this device should get you all the way down to the embassy interior. Once you're inside, though, finding the ambassador is going to be up to you. And fair warning, we received a report that alarms might have been tripped inside the embassy during the attacks. Watch out for automated security in there.
Now, if you have additional questions or require clearance for a new approach we haven't already discussed, don't hesitate to ask. I'd suggest you start with Ambassador Radcliffe. Approach her while the attack is still fresh in her and her staff's mind. Be smart out there, Captain.
When you have a moment, I'd like to speak to you. I have an important personal decision to make, but I need to discuss something with you first. Phew, thank you. So, where to start? Before I was with the Navigator Corps, I was career military, part of the United Colonies Navy. When the colony war broke out, I was posted as the chief navigator on a warship, the Dauntless.
¿Por qué me suena?
Well, the position didn't last long. There was a particularly bloody battle. We were fighting over a world in the Eta Cassiopeia system. Worst fighting I'd ever seen. We lost 12 ships that day. 12. Including my own. Economic reasons. Several of the worlds in the Cassiopeia system were mineral rich. Both sides wanted to drop refinery outposts on the surface to bolster their supply. No. This is important. I need to tell you this. The ship was barely intact. The captain and first mate died the previous day, which put me in command. A shrewd captain would have called for the crew to abandon ship, but I was so angry. I wanted to stay. I needed to fight. I believe you. But you haven't heard the worst of this. We fought for hours, but the damage was fatal. I gave the order to abandon ship and the crew piled into the escape shuttle. As the shuttle launched, I could see it was damaged. I heard screams before the radio cut. And last thing I saw, they were spiraling helplessly towards the planet's surface. There was nothing I could do. You're sorry. For me, if I hadn't been so stubborn, so eager to prove that I could handle command, my crew would have had more time to escape. Try telling that to their loved ones. When the dust settled, the United Colonies gave me a medal. Can you believe that? A damn medal. I never even had a chance to find the shuttle wreckage and give my crew a proper burial. Bad luck. That sounds familiar. You once told me, no matter how hard you fight, there are some battles you simply can't win. I wish I had heard your advice long ago. Don't you get it? Everything I do, everything I touch, somehow falls apart. That's why I'm worried about us. After everything you've heard, all my stories, you still have faith. No one's ever cared about me this much. Not even Aja.
Cacha, pues no.
I feel exactly the same way. Phew. I didn't think that would be so draining. Thank you for being there, for listening to me when I needed it the most. I'll never forget this. I promise.
Ya, tenemos actividades, ¿no? ¿Con quién quiere? ¿Quién es el sargento? Ay, tengo que hablar con todos estos culiados. Ay, se fue con la puerta abierta. Falta de mantenimiento ya. Está disparando, man. Ay, mierda. Conche tu madre. La cagué, weón, la cagué. No, pues, weón. No, pues, weón. No. Conche. No sabía que iba a pasar eso, weón. Oh, la wea divertida, weón. Aquí sí, pues. Ay, la wea loca, pues, weón. Es el como el poder de la fuerza Jedi, weón. Que la pura zorra, weón. Ya, no hagamos más, weón. Corren, ¿no?
Ah, Captain. It's good to see you again, under much calmer circumstances. You wouldn't be here about the job, would you? Might not be worth your time, considering your rank.
part-time security officer. The position's very flexible. You can basically work whenever you're available. No pressure. We've had some gaps in the schedule lately. Macy's out on maternity leave. Jose's on loan to Sidonia. When it rains, it pours type of situation. So really, we just need someone to fill the void. Interested?
All right, Captain. Just keep in mind, this isn't going to involve your usual level of excitement. No mind-altering terramorphs and explosions in the spaceport. Just simple, good old-fashioned police work. Your first assignment couldn't be easier. Go to mast and check in with Agent Plato at Aegis. There was a package left at a dead drop, and they need UC security to handle it. He'll fill you in on the details.
Qué bonito.
See you later.
Ya, pero no es para lo que veníamos, estamos manteniendo. Fuera las dos son de la UCI, ya. Que era el código archivístico del colectivo Freestar. Vamos para allá. Bueno, el Sam nos podrá ayudar con esto, weá.
Contrary to what you might have heard, UC security personnel are good people. And Sergeant Ewing just happens to be nothing.
Cállate, loca. Ya, vamos para las embajadas. ¿Qué? Ay, Dios mío, Cherky Candeguas, tengo que cambiar el poder, weón. Y voy a usar la weá para recuperarme, weón, la de la atmósfera. Ya,
Contrary to what
You see.
security personnel are good people, and Sergeant Ewing just happens to be notified. Does it hurt when you do that?
What? Oh, sorry.
Ya había venido antes para acá, pero nunca había gente.
Hard to believe. 2 decades since we were at war.
Oh, el medio estornudo, chucha. ¿Qué acá? Cacha, calabozo con pesas. Con cuadro y con huevitas lindas.
I'm not happy visiting anything related to the Freestar Collective, but you lead, and I'll follow.
Buena, choro, que choro. ¿Y de madera? Pues de madera. Balaustradas de madera, ¿bien?
As in more than one? All that security and they still can't protect their own spaceport. The UC never fails to disappoint. I just wish I hadn't received the news from an SSNN broadcast. We have a strategic advantage to maintain, Mr. Long.
Of course, ma'am. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Stash the weapon. You're in an embassy, for goodness sake.
I'm sorry. Do you have an appointment? Ah, you're the one McIntyre called about. The eyewitness. She said you were at the spaceport. You have my thanks for what you did down there, truly. Saved many lives. Now, she also mentioned that, and maybe it was just a bad connection, that now the UC wants terramorph data from the Armistice archives, some of the most highly guarded information in the galaxy, in order to protect us all. I can only presume you're here to tell me I misheard her and that they didn't send you, local hero, to futilely beg on their behalf. Tell me I've got that right. I was afraid of that. Let me be frank, Captain. The answer is no. That information is there because it is dangerous. I will not be the one responsible for its release. Now, why don't you quit wasting my time and yours, and go.
Hoy la buena pesa. Hoy la culia pesada, weón. No cacha que, weón, se murieron no sé cuántos culiados y la culia está puro culiando, weón.
You're really gonna push this? All right, I will give you one chance. One to convince me. Understood. I'm listening. I don't care if you're the God Emperor of Neon. I won't make the same mistake you are right now. I suppose you're right. Our job and our responsibility. It's possible I might be letting my history cloud my judgment. Possibly. Londinian. They had to abandon the planet. But that couldn't happen again. The cost of being wrong is a high one. Well, Captain, you make some good points. But if I'm really granting you access, I'm gonna need the following concessions.
Puta la huevona.
Your access will be limited. You can only take out the items related to stopping these terramorphs. The monitors will make sure of it. You go in once, you get everything you need on your trip, and never again. And all research done with the data will be monitored. If this data is being used to save the galaxy needs to be involved in the oversight. Freestar scientists will watch your people like hawks.
So, do we have an agreement? Excellent. Follow me.
You're allowed 3 places. Conference room, lobby, or the ambassador's office. You set foot anywhere else, there's going to be problems.
Voy a subir, weón ocioso. Esto no... Es que te sobra el tiempo para... Y sigue, weón, en la escalera el culiao, weón.
They tell me it should only take a moment. And there.
Bien, y genera el código aleatorio,
Here,
¿no?
I'll reach out to Deputy McIntyre. We'll coordinate the necessary oversights. 2 unlikely allies, I guess.
¿Cachaste? Y no mataron a nadie, weón. Guau, lindo casco. Linda pieza. Mira, Sara, una pieza. Lo siento, pero este casco me lo tengo que llevar. ¡Epa! No son los artefactos. Bravo, 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 nos fue bien, no matamos a nadie, no destruimos el planeta, no nos atacaron más horromorfos. Cuidado, culiado, te tengo vigilado. Te tengo vigilado, chuchito madre.
It's incredible.
Así de pulento soy por loca. ¿Otra vez el ascensor lateral? Ah, no, escalera. Escalera para allá, después izquierda. Me pasé, pues, weón. Era para acá, pues. Ya, tenemos código. Creo que nos dieron un código. Ahí está. Está el casco. Oh, está bueno. Oye, aquí no viene nadie. Oh, crédito.
This isn't what I expected at all. It appears the flora they were using as decor has overgrown the entire embassy.
No, aquí podrían haber weas interesantes.
I've never seen a tree like this before in my entire life. It'd actually be more fascinating if the branches weren't blocking my way. Let's see if they've got anything worth taking. Don't leave any of that behind.
Concha tu madre. No, al menos estos buenos no me van a atacar ahora. Ay, Dios mío. No sé, no hay quién está atacando, weón. Mi hija, la casa Barún, está loca. Ya, lo que sea que estemos buscando parece que está abajo. ¿Cómo va? Lo bueno es que todo lo que activamos.
So, what seems punishment becomes providence. A reminder we can never truly know the Great Serpent's designs for us. You have my thanks, and my apologies for the ordeal you just endured. Come, let us discuss.
Te debiera matar, culiao, weón. Bueno, ayer comenzó mi actividad como embajador de la Casa Barún en las Colonias Unidas. Llegué lleno de esperanza, convencido de que de que nuestro gesto de abrir esta nueva embajada demostraría que hemos dejado atrás nuestro pasado ensangrentado. Sin embargo, nos llevamos ni una hora en la Nueva Atlántida cuando empezaron a hacerse notar los problemas. Nuestro breve paseo desde el espacio hasta la embajada se vio marcado por las miradas suspicaces y las burlas de numerosos extraños en la calle. Temo que no sea fácil cambiar la opinión de la gente de este lugar. Las malas acciones de la Casa Barú no se olvidan fácilmente, chucha. Protesta. Bueno, igual vamos a tener. Abrámoslos rápidamente y cada uno. No, que después los leo. Primero quiero ver el casco. Igual esta pero el de la vanguardia. Pero de este ya tengo por lo menos de diseño varios. Ya, flaco, desembucho.
Not the ideal introduction, I suppose, giving you a grand tour of the embassy via barely functioning intercoms. I do greatly appreciate your persistence. I suspect the venom tree upstairs has worked itself into more systems than I'd realized. But then again, who could cage such a beauty? Eh? Tell me though, what is it like outside? I heard the broadcast mentioning an attack. Then the embassy was struck with a power surge and then... silence. Has the rest of the city suffered quite so badly? Is that right, huh? I shall need to have these repairs seen to sooner rather than later. Now, it cannot solely be the Serpent's grace that brought you here at such an opportune moment. You were sent by the UC. That much is obvious. Who else could just waltz through my door? And the broadcast spoke of terror morphs at the spaceport. A worrying occurrence, certainly, but coming here of all places, when all I could provide is some enthused cheerleading and... an archive code. So the UC requires information, then. On terror morphs, presumably. Do I see this all clearly? The preservation of life stands as the very purpose of the archives. Using its data to prevent more attacks, there is logic there. But if I am to grant you access, I have a requirement. For years, House Varun has been known only as an agent of slaughter. We founded this embassy with hopes of shedding that legacy. With little success. In exchange for my code, I require this. You must be the one who ensures it is used for good. Ensure House Varun's legacy is more than just carnage. The knowledge you ask for isn't evil. No knowledge is. It is we who bend it to evil ends. Oh, you must assure me this will be used to save lives, not endanger them.
As the chair of Constellation, I take personal responsibility in vouching for this man's integrity. He'll keep his word.
Well then, I shall not fear. Please, follow me.
Esta weá fue más fácil que la anterior, po, weón.
Let's hope it still works. And there. Let it be used for good.
For God's sake, drop some of that rubbish already.
El trasto va a ser para ti, mija. Ya, fuimos. Ya, fueron. Mucho huevo, ya. Aquí el traje se lo deja el Sam Coe. No tengo por qué darle regalos a esta bitch. Lo hemos revisado acá. Tanto atado, weón, pa' un... Que ay, te me... loco.
Captain, you're back sooner than... Oh, wait. Did you actually succeed? With Radcliffe? And Balmore? We're all in agreement. So the old man was still lurking around in there. Fine work, Captain. And now, I've already arranged everything with the archival monitors. When you get down there, the UC monitor will give you instructions on how to deploy the codes. Follow them to the letter. Here, the UC code piece and an archival access card. The entrance is just on the other side of the plaza across from Mast. Absolute best behavior down there, all right?
Vamos. Esta weá no para, esta weá no para. El que pestañea muere, el que pestañea muere, culeo. Oh, la weá. Oh, ya empezó esta weá con su weá de que no hay espacio, weón. Hola, weá. Por si acaso. Y dejamos hasta acá la weá. Ya, mucho.